Dear students, welcome to today's chemistry class. So in this class, let us discuss coagulation or flocculation of colloids. Coagulation or flocculation is nothing but precipitation of colloids. So here we discussed that colloids are either positively charged or negatively charged. When such type of colloids are mixed with certain electrolytic solutions, then the charge present on the colloids are removed. Hence, the colloids becomes unstable and finally precipitation takes place. So that totally setting of colloids is called as coagulation or flocculation of colloids. So coagulation or flocculation is nothing but totally setting of colloids. Totally setting of colloids is called as coagulation or flocculation, or it is also defined as the phenomenon by which the smaller colloidal particles grow in bigger size and finally precipitates out is called as flocculation of colloids or coagulation of colloids. So it means smaller sized colloidal particles grow in bigger size and finally precipitation takes place. That phenomenon is called as coagulation or flocculation. The phenomenon by which the smaller colloidal particles. The phenomenon by which the smaller colloidal particles grow in bigger size, and finally precipitates out is called as coagulation or flocculation of colloids. So it is colloidal particles are either positively charged or negatively charged. Such type of colloids, when they mix with electrolyte solution, then the charges on the colloidal particles removed and colloidal solution becomes unstable, and finally so the particles of colloids unite together, associated takes place and precipitated out. Such type of process is called as flocculation of colloids or coagulation of colloids. So here, what are the methods? Used to coagulate or flocculate the colloids? So next topic is methods. Methods of coagulation. Methods of coagulation of colloids. How to coagulate or how to flocculate the colloids? What type of methods are used for the coagulation of colloids? So here the first method used to coagulate the colloids is by adding electrolyte. By the addition of electrolyte. So here electrolytic solution consists of many number of ions. charge to that of colloids. So it is whenever a colloid is mixed with electrolytic solution, the ions of electrolyte having the charge opposite to that of colloid, then precipitation takes place. ಯಾವುದೊಂದು ಕಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಲೈಟ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಹಾಕೋಣ. ಕಲಾಯ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಲೈಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ precipitation takes place because of neutralization. Say you take AgI AS2S3 arsenic sulfide is a negatively charged colloid. When it is mixed with the positively charged electrolyte FeOH thrice, then so a negatively charged colloid consists of S2 minus ions. Here FeOH thrice gives Fe3 plus ions, so that so precipitation takes place. So that is by the addition of electrolyte solution we can coagulate the colloid, because when colloid is mixed with the electrolyte solution, the ions of electrolyte having the charge opposite to that of colloid, so then neutralization of charges takes place, and hence finally precipitation of colloids takes place. Second method is by boiling. By boiling of colloid, we can coagulate the colloidal solutions, because during the boiling, the charges present on the colloidal particles get disturbed due to the collision of dispersion medium particles, that means solvent molecules. As a result, the charges are removed from the colloidal particles, and the colloidal solution get association takes place, get precipitation takes place. So that is during boiling, the positive charge or negative charge present on the colloidal particle get disturbed due to the collision of dispersion medium solvent molecules. As a result, the charges are present on the colloidal particles get removed, and finally the colloidal particles get united takes place, and precipitation takes place. And third method is by adding another colloid, of opposite charge. When two colloids having opposite charges are mixed together, then the charges present on the two colloids get neutralization takes place, and hence colloids get precipitated. ಎರಡು ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ colloids na mix ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ the charges present on that colloids get neutralization takes place. As a result, the colloid is finally precipitation takes place. And the fourth method of coagulation of colloids is by repeated dialysis. In the previous class we discussed dialysis. Dialysis is a method of purification of colloids. So it means impurities can be removed from the colloids using parchment bag. So here during the dialysis, large number of electrolytes are removed from the colloids. As a result, the colloid becomes unstable and the colloidal particles get united takes place and finally precipitated out. Dialysis ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಆ colloidal solution ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ electrolytic ions, electrolytes get removed from the colloidal solutions. As a result, colloid becomes unstable and colloid get fluctuated takes place or coagulation takes place. Precipitation is formed. And fifth method is by electrophoresis. Electrophoresis is the method in which movement of colloidal particles takes place either towards positively charged electrode or towards a negatively charged electrode under the influence of electrical field. ಒಂದು electrical field electricity na colloidal solution ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ colloidal particles ಇಲ್ಲ ಆನೋಡ್ ಕಡೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ಕಡೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. Whenever colloidal solution is subjected to electrophoresis method, the colloidal particles moves either towards cathode or anode. Positively charged colloid ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ negatively charged electrode ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತವೆ. Because of two opposite charges, colloids get precipitation takes place. Negatively charged colloidal solution ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ colloidal particles move towards positively charged electrode. Once again, because of opposite charges, precipitation takes place. So these are the different methods used for the coagulation or fluctuation of colloids. So it is coagulation is nothing but totally setting of colloids, are the phenomena by which smaller colloidal particles grow in bigger size and finally precipitates out. That process of coagulation is carried out by using different methods, like by adding electrolyte, by boiling method, by the addition of another colloid of opposite charge, and by repeated dialysis method, and by electrophoresis method. And the next topic is coagulating ion or active ion. Coagulating ion or active ion. Coagulating ion or active ion is nothing but the ion which is responsible for the coagulation of colloid. ಯಾವ ion ಒಂದು colloid ನ coagulation ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, such type of ion is called as active ion or coagulating ion. So that is, coagulating ion is nothing but the ion which is responsible for the coagulation. Responsible for the coagulation of colloid. Coagulation of colloid is called as a coagulating ion or active ion. Such type of ions which are responsible for the coagulation of colloids comes from the electrolytic solutions. Means electrolytes. For the coagulation of colloids, we need to add electrolytes. Those electrolytes gives active ions. That active ions are responsible for the precipitation or flocculation of colloids. Such type of ions which are responsible for the coagulation of colloids are called as active ions or coagulating ions. Example 1. For the coagulation of negative salt, negative colloid AS2S3. Arsenic sulfide is a negative colloid. Negative colloidal salt. For the coagulation of AS2S3, the active or the efficiency of active ions is in the order Al3 plus greater than Ba2 plus greater than Na plus. So here AS2S3 is a negatively charged colloid. To precipitate this negatively charged colloid, we need to add electrolyte solutions which is containing positively charged active ions. That positively charged active ions are such as Al3 plus or Ba2 plus or Na plus. This positively charged ions are called as now active ions. When such type of positively charged ions containing electrolytes are added to the colloids, then negatively charged colloid get precipitation takes place. So that means a negatively charged colloid, this is negatively charged colloid because AS2S3 consists of negatively charged ions S2 minus ions. So this negatively charged colloid is get precipitated with the help of positively charged active ions such as Al3 plus, Ba2 plus or Na plus. Similarly, a positively charged colloid is get coagulated by using the active ions like negative ions Cl minus, SO4 2 minus, PO4 3 minus, etc. So here a negatively charged colloid is precipitated by the addition of positively charged active ions containing electrolytes. Similarly, a positively charged colloid is get precipitated, is get coagulated by the addition of electrolytes containing negatively charged active ions. To discuss this coagulating ion or active ion, let us discuss one important rule, that is called as RD Skulls rule. So very important for 1 mark. State RD Skulls rule. RD Skulls rule. It states that larger the valency of active ion, greater is the coagulating power or precipitating power. That's all. Larger the valency of active ion. ಯಾವ active ion ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂತೀವಿ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ easily the colloid get precipitated. So it states that statement. It states that larger Fiskals rule states that larger the valency of active ion, greater is the coagulating power of colloid. So very simple. Take example. Example 1. For the coagulation of As2S3 negatively charged colloid, the efficiency of cations or active ions, cationic active ions, cations is in the order Al3 plus greater than Ba2 plus greater than Na plus. See here, the statement states that larger the valency of active ion, greater is coagulating power of colloid. Let us take one negatively charged colloid, so that is As2S3. Arsenic sulfide is a negatively charged colloid. To coagulate that negatively charged colloid, we have to add electrolytes containing positively charged active ions. Such type of active ions, if they have a larger valency, then easily colloids get precipitated. Look at this 3 ions, active ions. Al3 plus, aluminium 3 plus, Ba2 plus and Na plus. Al3 plus, which carries 3 plus larger valency than 2 plus than 1 plus. So that to precipitate this negatively charged As2S3 arsenic sulfide colloid, aluminium Al3 plus active ion is used. So easily precipitation takes place. Totally ಯಾವ ಕ್ಯಾಟಯಾನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಥರ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಈ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜಡ್ ಕಲಾಯ್ಡ್ನ ಬೇಗ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಪಿಟೇಟ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ದ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ to precipitate the negatively charged colloid easily. Larger the valency of active ion, greater is the coagulating power of a colloid or precipitating power of a colloid. Similarly, another example 2. For the coagulation of positively charged colloid like ferric hydroxide. For the coagulation of positively charged colloid ferric hydroxide, the efficiency of negatively charged active ions, is in the order Fe(Cn)(6)(4) minus greater than PO4(3) minus greater than SO4(2) minus greater than Cl minus. So here FeOH thrice is a positively charged colloid which can be precipitated by adding the electrolytes containing negatively charged active ions. And that negatively charged active ions, if the valency is large, then the colloid easy coagulation takes place. Look at this ferric iron oxide. It is a positively charged colloid. This can be coagulated or fluctuated by adding the electrolytes containing negatively charged active ions. Greater the valency or negative active ion, easier to precipitate the colloid. So that is totally active ion is responsible for the coagulation of colloids. Okay, next come to the coagulating value. Coagulating value, or it is also called as fluctuating value. Fluctuating value. So this concept is very important for NEET or JEE examination. So one question you may going to get from this coagulating value or fluctuating value of colloids. So here coagulating value or fluctuating values of colloid is nothing but the minimum concentration of electrolyte in millimole per dm cube required for the coagulation of colloid is called as fluctuating value of colloid. Minimum concentration of electrolyte in millimole per dm cube. Minimum concentration of electrolyte in millimole per dm cube required for the coagulation of colloid is called as coagulating value or fluctuating value of colloid. So let us write a definition. The minimum concentration of electrolyte. The minimum concentration of electrolyte in mole millimole per dm cube. In millimole per dm cube required to cause coagulation or precipitation. Required to cause coagulation of colloid in 2 hours. That precipitation or coagulation takes place in 2 hours. 2 hours ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು colloid precipitation ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಲೈಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ that can be measured in terms of millimole per dm cube. Minimum concentration of electrolyte in millimole per dm cube required to cause coagulation or precipitation of colloid in 2 hours. ಒಂದು 2 hours ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು colloid precipitation ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಲೈಟ್ in millimole per dm cube is required. That is called as a fluctuating value of colloids. So let us take one example. Fluctuating example 1. Fluctuating values of active ions of electrolyte charged As2S3 collide. Fluctuating values of active ions of electrolyte required to coagulate negatively charged As2S3 collide can be written as. See here, As2S3 is a negatively charged collide. So to precipitate or to coagulate this negatively charged collide, we have to use certain electrolytes. It is like one tablet electrolyte. The first electrolyte, say you take NaCl. Second electrolyte you take BaCl2. Third electrolyte you take aluminum chloride, AlCl3. These three electrolytes gives positively charged active ions. Active ion present in these electrolytes are Na plus, Ba2 plus and Al3 plus. So here coagulating value or fluctuating value in millimole per dm3. In millimole per dm3. For the coagulation of As2S3 negatively charged collide, the active ion Na plus from NaCl requires 52 millimole per dm3 and Ba2 plus requires 0.69 millimole per dm3 and Al3 plus requires 0.093 millimole per dm3. Smaller the value of fluctuating value of active ion, easier to precipitate the colloids. Look at these three electrolytes which are giving Na plus, Ba2 plus, Al3 plus as active ions. These are positively charged active ions responsible to coagulate negatively charged As2S3 collide. Na plus requires the concentration of 52 millimole per dm3. Ba2 plus requires 0.69 millimole per dm3 and Al3 plus requires 0.093 millimole per dm3. So here Al3 plus requires smaller fluctuating value 0.093 millimole per dm3. Hence easier precipitation takes place. Smaller the fluctuating value, larger the valency of active ion, greater is the precipitating power. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಯುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಯಾವ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಯಾನ್ಗೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ such active ion easily precipitates the colloids. Take another example. Fluctuating values of active ions of electrolyte required to coagulate positively charged FeOH thrice ferric hydroxide collide. So then take some other electrolytes to coagulate to positively charged collide. Say take KCl and take K2SO4. So another FeCN6, FeCN6, 4 minus. So these are the 3 electrolytes which will provide negatively charged active ions. The active ion from KCl is Cl minus. Active ion in K2SO4 is SO42 minus. Active ion in FeCN6 4 minus is Cl6 4 minus. So here there are 3 active ions, negatively charged active ions. Cl always requires the fluctuating value of 102 millimole per dm cube, and SO4 requires 0.21, and CN6 4 minus requires 0.096 millimole per dm cube. So here also FeCN6 4 minus has larger negative valency active ion, so that it has a lower fluctuating value 0.096. So totally smaller the fluctuating value, larger is the valency of active ion, greater is the precipitating power of colloids. So on this fluctuating values, you may get any one competitive examination question. See, once again, during the clarification or purification of drinking water, the colloidal mud particles can be precipitated by the addition of potash alum. That is, water na purify ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ mud particles na remove ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. To remove that mud particles, potash alum ಅನ್ನು add ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Potash alum is nothing but Al2 K2SO4 into Al2SO4 thrice into 24H2O. K2SO4 into Al2SO4 thrice into 24H2O is the potash alum. This potash alum is used for the clarification or purification of drinking water. When we add potash alum, which gives active ions Al3 plus ions, potash alum inda Al3 plus ions active ions ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತವೆ. This Al3 plus ions, a potash alum, ಇದು electrolyte ಇದೆ. This Al3 plus ions comes in contact with the colloidal particles, that is mud particles of water, and get precipitation takes place and get settled down. Alum aliರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ Al3 plus ion ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆ mud particles, colloidal particles interact ಆಗಿ precipitation ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಆ precipitate get settled down. Clear water comes up. So it can be removed by decantation. So it is so potash alum is used for the purification of water.